Hi there, welcome to Switch Mania. I am Clarence and today we'll talk about the best Nintendo Switch games on sale. We will be covering the UK, EU, US, Australia, and Canada eShop. But first and foremost, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you want to see more of this series, please leave a like. Remember to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell to receive future notifications. Likes and subscriptions help keep the channel alive. First on our list is Slimesand. Do you want a fast-paced platforming game that will put your patience to the test and make you want to throw your Nintendo Switch across the room? You should play Slimesand. Fans of games like Super Meat Boy will recognize this addictive, well-designed game that will have players pulling out their hair but unable to put down until every drop of juice, or slime, has been squeezed out. Slimesand is a fantastic game that is quick, funny, and challenging. It has a satisfying main game as well as a ton of extra content to play with. Slimesand's controls are ideal, and the environments are diverse and intriguing. Other platformers may have covered similar ground, but Slimesand is so well crafted and incorporates so many different elements that it deserves to be regarded as one of the best in the genre. Next is Colt Canyon. Colt Canyon is a fantastic roguelike with extremely sharp and addictive gameplay. The rhythmic action reminds me of Hotline Miami, and I find myself wanting to give it just one more try. Some may object to pixelated graphics, but the gameplay is where this game truly shines. Once you've gotten past the steep learning curve, you'll find this to be an excellent addition to the Switch's growing roguelike library. Aside from cinematic realism, this pixelated 2D non-stop shooting fest is not for those who aren't afraid of a challenge, but players who enjoy being pushed to their limits will be rewarded by its fast-paced, exciting gameplay. Colt Canyon would be more enjoyable and rewarding if it were longer, but even though it is short, there is enough here to satisfy your Wild West cravings, whether you play alone or with a friend. Next is Outbuddies DX. From the music that sets the mood and speeds up as the battle heats up to the numerous weapons and memorable boss fights, it's clear that Outbuddies DX's years of development will change the Metroidvania genre. Is this the best Outbuddies episode ever? All indications point to yes. The DX version lives up to its nifty moniker, despite some annoying bugs and pixel people who don't look their best. This developer's journey has been fascinating to follow, and their work has given modern consoles a more distinct appearance than just a cartoon mustache. It's not only one of the best Metroidvania games I've ever played, but it can also compete with some of the most popular games for current generation consoles. Whatever your feelings were about how it was made available, it was well worth the time it took to create and update. Next is Rigid Force Redux. Rigid Force Redux is a short but sweet 2.5D shmup that fans of the genre will enjoy, and everyone else will probably appreciate how simple it is to play in comparison to Japanese bullet hell blasters. Despite the fact that the game is very similar to other games and does not make the most of its interesting core mechanics, it is a very fun experience that plays, looks, and sounds like a dream. It's just a shame that this fantasy doesn't last. Next is Windscape. Windscape combines classic action/adventure games with new gameplay mechanics and storylines. The player can explore the nearly open world at their leisure. Windscape is a huge undertaking, and its creator, Dennis Witt, deserves a lot of credit for how well it turned out. Even though there are some parts of Windscape that are kept simple, such as combat, the majority of the game is a thrilling adventure that is just full of charm. Windscape is a one-man passion project with some flaws, but its scope, ambition, and heart propel it above its weight class. Windscape is an excellent choice for a relaxing game after a long day, similar to Zelda or Skyrim. Next up, Earth Atlantis. Earth Atlantis is a challenging and at times frustrating game that combines elements of exploration and scrolling shooters. The most intriguing and unique aspect of this game is that it appears to be a map. However, it is merely a pleasant diversion that works best in portable mode when you have some spare time. Slowly is the best way to play Earth Atlantis. The quick boss fights and ease with which enemy mobs can be found make for fast-paced gameplay, but the high frequency of boss fights and enemy mobs can make the game feel repetitive. Overall, the way it works is satisfactory, and the way it appears is distinctive. It's distinct enough from other shooters to warrant a look, particularly if you want to combine shooting with exploration and adventure. Next is Bridge Constructor Ultimate Edition. The Switch is an excellent platform for playing Bridge Constructor Ultimate Edition. Given your bridge building abilities, it will take 3 to 5 hours to complete. After you've finished everything, you can go back and try to make a better crossing and get a higher score. It's unlikely to hold anyone's attention for more than 10 hours, but for its sale price right now, this is a good addition to the Nintendo eShop. Bridge Constructor Ultimate Edition allows you to be creative, but it's more about problem solving than being a good artist. If engineering is not your field, as it is not mine, then you can expect a lot of trial and error. After all, it is a puzzle game. Despite the fact that it can be frustrating, I enjoyed it when I finally got a vehicle across. So, if you're looking for a challenge, this is something you should look into. Next is Rise, Race the Future. At its core, Rise, Race the Future is a fantastic racing game. Its only shortcoming is that it tries to do too much. Even though it could benefit from more work on its own mechanics and multiplayer features, it is still a very fun and technically sound racing game that can easily compete with the system's best games. Rise, Race the Future has finished strongly as the checkered flag falls. The graphics, driving style, tracks, cars, and amount of time you can play are all excellent. The game is entertaining and challenging enough to keep you returning for more. Even if you don't usually play racing games, Rise is a must-have for your Switch library. Next is The Company Man. The story unfolds exactly as I predicted, but in a good way. Even though the floors appear to be different, they don't play that differently. Boss battles are entertaining and varied enough that I looked forward to them at the end of each floor. Some of the leveling methods seemed a little slow to me, but I only have minor complaints about the game to send to HR. The Company Man is a lovely action platformer with a lot of character. Forest Studio added social commentary to the game, which greatly improved it. Even though it has some movement issues and cannot be played more than once, this is a fun anti-capitalist fight. Next is Curious Expedition. Curious Expedition is a complex game with many layers and obvious echoes of previous games. Don't be fooled by the simple premise. This is a harsh and unforgiving roguelite. If you enjoy traveling and learning about the past, Curious Expedition is an excellent way to learn about a new world. Curious Expedition is a strategy and board game for people who enjoy a mix of challenge, strangeness, and chance. Some may dislike how simple and harsh it is, but it is a well-rounded experience that can be played repeatedly. Despite its flaws, Curious Expedition is a fun and well-crafted adventure. If you enjoy exploration adventures, this is worth a look because it has deep game mechanics, a large cast of characters, and numerous ways to play. Next is Curious Expedition 2. Curious Expedition 2 may not be as good as the first game, but it doesn't have to be. The first game was a great place to start because it was a challenging roguelike about exploring strange lands and discovering amazing things. Not only has the gameplay been fine-tuned and improved in Curious Expedition 2, but the art now matches the amazing beauty that your characters are meant to see. Curious Expedition 2 appears to be a fun comic book that will keep you entertained for hours with procedurally generated worlds and interesting events that occur to the characters. The game is a very enjoyable roguelike adventure, but it may be difficult to maintain your interest after the first time you play it. Next up, Wind Peaks. Despite its flaws, Wind Peaks provides 2 hours of calm, zen-like fun that only a hidden object game can provide. This type of game isn't typically thought of as fun or engaging, but it satisfies a primal need to find what's missing. This Switch game would be ideal for a long, boring train ride. Overall, Wind Peaks is a fun and short game, but I'm not sure if the current price is reasonable given the amount of content. Still, if the hint about future content is true, I'd be willing to reconsider. I finished the game in about 2 hours and had a great time doing so. The difficulty level gradually increases and decreases, ensuring that the game never becomes boring or repetitive. The artwork is charming, and the background music is very relaxing. To be honest, I wish the game was longer. If you want to change things up and play something calm and soothing, try Wind Peaks. Next is Stick It to the Man. I strongly believe you should participate in this game. It's a short play with a lot of love and charm that doesn't drag on too long. The writing, the voices, and the way the art was put together were all excellent. I'm not sure if this was exclusive to the Switch version, but there were a couple of Nintendo jokes early on that helped set the tone for the game. It worked well in both handheld and docked modes. Headphones, in my opinion, are the best way to hear music, sound effects, and voices as clearly as possible. Because the voices are so good, I wouldn't listen to it without headphones on the bus or in a crowded place. However, you have the option of having subtitles. Take a look at this one if you're looking for something new and exciting to do. Next is Flipping Death. In every way, the game is a shining star. The plot and creation of the characters, as well as the voice actors, music, and artwork. If I had to compare it to something, I'd say it's about the same as a Tim Schafer game. This can only be a good thing. Flipping Death is a fun story with mostly straightforward gameplay, but it may be a little too short. A few more chapters wouldn't hurt, but the challenges in each one make the game playable multiple times. The humor is excellent as usual, but the game itself is superb. The puzzles are clear and simple to solve, there is plenty of replay value, and each character does something unique. The only disappointment is that using the game's tools feels like cheating. When I did that, I felt like I gave up a little bit of something. In the end, it all comes down to what kind of experience players prefer. All that matters is that everyone has the opportunity to enjoy the adventure game Flipping Death. Next is Say No More. Say No More is a game with simple rules and an emotional and thought-provoking story. The characters are insane, but the story has heart and charm. Its emphasis on concepts such as the power of self-advocacy, helping those around you, and breaking cycles of abuse will stick with a potential player and shape much of how they feel about the short game. Say No More is only 2 hours long, but it does an excellent job of balancing humor and heart, and it's an excellent choice for those looking for a compelling story. Say No More is bright, colorful, and far more profound than it appears on the surface. Say No More is a fantastic time all around. It's not a particularly interactive game, and you might only play it once, but if you enjoy games with a variety of plots, this is a good one. Next is RICO. RICO is a simple and enjoyable arcade FPS. Because it's a corridor shooter, every gunfight is a glorious exchange of bullets as you repeatedly fight your way to the words room cleared. It's a lot of fun to play by yourself, but when you play with a friend, each random set of rooms transforms into an interactive buddy cop movie right in your hand. Despite the fact that it takes a while to load and occasionally glitches, this is another excellent first-person shooter for the console. If you enjoy the Borderlands or Payday series, you should give this one a shot. Next up, Holy Potatoes, a weapon shop? If you want a cute and funny shop simulator that you can play for hours, Holy Potatoes A Weapon Shop is the game to play. It's a great way to unwind because it's entertaining to play and has a lighthearted tone. Once you get the hang of it, making and selling weapons is a lot of fun, and there's a lot to strive for in the potato world. Depending on how much you enjoy the genre, you can play this game for a few minutes or several hours per day. Next is Little Dragon's Café. I feel better about the world after finishing a game like Little Dragon's Café. Each chapter ends on a serious note that makes me feel better. It's not the most polished game I have ever played, nor are its mechanics the most in-depth, but it has a soul and a kind heart that improve the basic gameplay so much that it's easy to recommend Little Dragon's Café to anyone looking for a little happiness in their lives. People who enjoy going on adventures will enjoy exploration, while RPG fans will enjoy finding ingredients and cooking better meals. It will make time fly by as you try to finish one more day, but it will respect your time because there aren't many wasted moments. It's a complete package that the developers designed to be used exactly how they wanted, and it's a refreshing experience. Next is SteamWorld Quest, Hand of Gilgamech. SteamWorld Quest is a fantastic 15-hour adventure full of humor, well-thought-out gameplay, and bright, detailed graphics that highlight the characters and the world around them. Fans of the SteamWorld universe may be interested in this game, but it should appeal to a wide range of people who enjoy well-written, visually appealing RPGs. SteamWorld Quest, Hand of Gilgamech is exactly what I've come to expect from the SteamWorld series, a well-made take on a familiar genre that's done very well. Next up, SteamWorld Dig. SteamWorld Dig is proud to be one of the best eShop games that can be described as must-plays. This game has enough charm to fill a small desert, and it has a lovely high level of polish and sheen that shines from its very core. I'd like to have more reasons to play the game after its brief campaign, and it's strange that the UK launch price is higher than when it was released on older Nintendo systems. However, the gameplay is sufficient to demonstrate that this is a fantastic game. If you want to learn more about the SteamWorld universe, this is a great place to start. Next is SteamWorld Dig 2. I would recommend this game to anyone, whether they have played the first SteamWorld Dig or not. Image Informed did an excellent job with this sequel, which is on par with everything else they've done in the SteamWorld universe so far. SteamWorld Dig 2 is everything you could want in a sequel. It improves on its predecessor's digging gameplay by making it more enjoyable to play, more visually appealing, and easier on the ears. It's a fun game to play, and even if you don't like platform or Metroidvania games, you should give it a try because it's one of the best independent Switch games. Next is SteamWorld Heist, Ultimate Edition. SteamWorld Heist has always been a fantastic game, and the Switch port may be the best way to experience it. This game is ideal for playing on the go because it was designed for the 3DS, and the touch controls work just as well here as they did on the 3DS. Of course, it helps that the core gameplay is just as good, thanks to great design and a unique take on the strategy genre that other developers haven't really challenged. Because of its strengths and the fact that it looks and sounds so good, SteamWorld Heist's few flaws are easy to overlook. This version is recommended for both newcomers and those who have played previous versions. Next is GIGA Wrecker Alt. GIGA Wrecker Alt is still a good Metroidvania game, even though there are a lot of Metroidvania games now. Even though collisions and physics can be strange at times, the puzzle platforming is inventive and complements the combat, which flows smoothly once you get the hang of the controls. Even though some parts are unclear, the art style is good, and the music is appropriate for the genre. The additions made at the expense of the level builder are worthwhile, so adventurers should check out GIGA Wrecker Alt. GIGA Wrecker Alt is a physics-based puzzle game with a beautiful aesthetic and challenging combat that will leave you wanting more and gritting your teeth every time you fail. And last, but not the least, Firegirl Hack and Splash Rescue DX. Firegirl Hack and Splash Rescue DX is ideal for those looking for a slower-paced action platformer with a dash of real-time resource management. It's a difficult but fair game that feels a lot fairer now than when it first came out, thanks to changes to the balance and an in-game reward system. If you enjoy side-scrolling action and want a fun and challenging adventure, Firegirl Hack and Splash Rescue DX is a must-have. Rogue games are a lot of fun to play on my Switch because they are designed for a more portable gaming system. Despite a few minor bugs and design flaws that slow the game down, fans of the roguelike genre should enjoy this completely unique firefighting game. That's all guys. I hope this video was helpful in deciding which game to play, and thank you for checking out the list. Please remember to subscribe and we'll see you at the next one.